YouTube. It's Tone back with another one for you. This one here today is a continuation of Redemption 5. We're getting into the hidden meaning of the Wizard of Oz. This shit is this is an awesome section of the book, too. So I actually enjoy this. So let's get into this here. Let me get this slide down. All right, so it says here, when the bankruptcy was declared in 1933, Americans were misdirected, to turn in all gold bullion and gold certificates by May 1st, known as May Day. Oh, look at that, May Day, huh? So the birthday of, mind you, if you if you look at all those posts from when they banned gold and made everybody turn them in, they were only ordering persons to turn in all their gold. And persons, United States Code 26, persons is a what is it? It's a business. It's a corporation. So they weren't telling all the fucking men and women to turn in their gold. They were telling the businesses that they could no longer function using gold. You see how that works? And they tricked everybody into essentially forfeiting their gold when they didn't have to. So, and they didn't even have the fucking authority to mandate that any man or woman turned it in, but persons, they could make do it. But if you didn't know what a USC 26 person was, then you probably went and turned your shit in, right? Crazy. So, and so that's where the term Mayday comes from. Look at that. So they use shit like that to make fun of the people. So in Bavaria, 1776, the birthday of the IRS, and celebrated worldwide as International Workers' Holiday, a holy day to the wizard and his tribe. Talking to people who were alive at the time, you may find out that the general sentiment towards such thievery bordered a second revolution. Maybe it was just too much of a clue, too much salt in the wound for Dorothy to be skipping down the yellow brick road in a pair of silver slippers. So that, for whatever reason, a color less likely to annoy and provoke the selected was red, right? And they didn't really want to give away too much to let people know that really it was all about the silver, or silver and gold. So with regards to the choice of the ruby and red colored slippers, red's primary significance, at least on the documents and the like, is that the color of blood, as in flesh and blood, and symbolizes a living, breathing man or woman, non-corporate, non-artificial entity. That's why when we do the private discharges and shit like that, red is the signifies the live man or woman. And so I always carry a red pen on me too wherever I go, whenever I have to sign for something. So that's what I'll use, and then I sign the way that I sign, which is something else. So the color red could also have been chosen for the related tie to the international banking Federal Reserve founder, the Rothschilds, aka Red Shield family. It does signify private as opposed to public as well. So that's what it is. So when we do our private discharge, that's why we're using the red for the red stamp, and then we use blue to signify commerce when we're making the money order. So your new Social Security card has a red serial number on the reverse, likely signifying the private side bond account attached to the public side of your strongman Social Security account. For postal employees, the red sticker registered mail means personal accountability, private. All other mail carries limited liability, public. It is likely that the ruby slippers symbolize the American people with the blood in their veins, as opposed to citizens of the United States, strongmen with the counterfeit corporate blood and blue-black ink on the birth certificate. No matter their color. In the movie, the Wicked Witch of the West wanted those slippers at any cost and had to move fast before Dorothy and her crew could make it to the Emerald City. The witch's tactics was to cover the countryside with poppy flowers or poppies, which is what they do. You see how they got America all hooked to fucking heroin and shit like that, and that's how they keep everybody in their little fucking trance, right? And I also did a video on how much heroin actually gets caught when they're fucking out here supposedly guarding the borders and all this shit. These motherfuckers haven't found more than a couple kilos in fucking 40 years of dope, but they always find boatloads of coke though. Yeah, okay, that's fucking strange, huh? So think about who the fuck's moving that. So the source in heroin, opium, moving them, symbolically drugging them, the American people, into unconsciousness, and then waltz in and snatch the slippers. In other words, the best way to subjugate the American people and boost the goods was to dull their senses by getting them hooked on drugs. LSD was created the same year, 1939, by Dr. Albert Hoffman, The poppies and drugs worked on Dorothy. The lion and Toto and the flesh and blood friends had no effect on the Scarecrow and the Tin Man because they're artificial entities. The two of them cried out for help, and Glenda, the good witch of the north, answered their prayers with a blanket of snow, aka cocaine, stimulant nullifying the narcotic effects of the poppies and opium on Dorothy. The lion and Toto, all this writing aside from the marijuana, the two most available drugs on the streets of America are heroin and cocaine in their various forms. As they all scampered toward Emerald City, the city of green, Federal Reserve notes, the new fiat money, or money by decree, we heard the Munchkins singing on the glory of the wizard's creation. You're out of the woods, you're out of the dark, you're out of the night, step into the sun, step into the light. So keep straight ahead for the most glorious place on the face of earth or the stars. The foregoing jingle abound with illuminous Luciferian symbols and metaphors, darkness and light. The Wicked Witch of the West made her home in a round medieval watchtower, ancient symbol of the Knights Templar or Freemasonry, who give practicing witchcraft and also credited the originators of modern banking era in 1099 AD. The Wicked Witch of the West was also dressed in a black color symbolizing the planet Saturn, sacred icon, the Knights Templar, and the color of choice and judges, priests of their robes, which is all black, who was the Wicked Witch. And you see the Watchtower is the symbol of the Freemasons and the Knights Templar, and it's also the Watchtower magazine of the Jehovah's Witnesses, which is also a Zionist organization which try to fucking wash their bullshit with by switching the name up of their organization, but it's all the same shit. It's all the same shit. So let's get into the next slide. So on the west, remember in the first part of the film, her counterpart, Elmira Gulch, who, according to Aunt Em, owned half the country. Miss Gulch allegedly that Dorothy's dog Toto had bitten her. She came to the farm with an order from the sheriff demanding that they surrender Toto to her custody. Auntie M was not immediately cooperative and answered Miss Gulch's allegations that Toto had bitten her with he's really gentle with gentle people, that is. Could gentle really mean Gentile? When Miss Gulch defied them to withhold Toto and against the law, dear old Aunt M was relegated to pushing the party line for Big Brother. She dutifully succumbed to the pressure and counseled Dorothy reluctantly. Does this sound like most American people? We can't go against the law, Dorothy. I'm afraid poor Toto will have to go, right? Everybody always just wants to do what they call the right thing. Man, get the fuck out. Look, anybody talking about the right thing has never studied law, all right? We'll put it like that. So whatever you call the right thing is what is right for you. So don't ever sit here and try to make anybody else fucking do what the fuck you think is the right thing. We all have our free will, and anybody can do what the fuck they want so long as they're not hurting anybody else. And don't ever let anybody tell you anything different. So when Dorothy refused to surrender Toto, Miss Gulch lashed out. If you don't hand over that dog, I'll bring a damn suit and they'll take your whole farm. Today, 70% of all attorneys in the world reside in the West America. To be exact, 95% of all lawsuits in the world were filed under U.S. jurisdiction. The Wicked Witch of the West and Miss Gulch, dear friends, represent judges and attorneys, American legal system, including the attorney-run U.S. Congress. They are the executioners and primary henchmen for the transferring of all wealth in America from the people over to the banks and the government. The Wicked Witch of the West wanted the silver slippers, the precious metals, and her counterpart, Miss Gulch, wanted to take Toto. What does that word Toto mean? I already told you it means Tony Tone, but we'll get into this here. In attorney language, Latin, it means everything. So, todo. So you already know what that is. So Dorothy and her three companions finally made their way to Emerald City. They saw an audience before the wizard were taken inside, brought before the wizard a gigantic image speaking in a loud voice behind glass, similar to smoke and mirrors, which is what their whole shit is based on, smoke and mirrors. Dorothy and the gang fell for the wizard's illusion, power, and command in the beginning, but it was little Toto who by instinct pulled the curtain back to expose the fraud of the wizard, a frontman for the wizard, an agent for the fiction. The wizard the people feared. The wizard, this gigantic image speaking in a loud voice behind glass, could very well symbolize the advent of television. And I mean, that's pretty much what your government is fucking television. These motherfuckers are all CGI. I don't know if you noticed. They're all fucking CGI. So the power of government speaking lies behind the people via TV, because if the people saw it on TV, it must be true, right? Fucking morons. And of course, the people will believe their government, won't they? Remember the drugs? And so, and I mean, they're drugging you on every fucking possible level. They're fucking fluoride in the goddamn water. They're poisoning your fucking food. Every fucking possible avenue of poisoning again. So everybody's fucking retarded right now. Like, literally. So, but Dorothy and the others soon wised up and revealed the wizard for what he was. A confidence man then was asking the administrative agency about helping the scarecrow, the strong man, about getting a brain. He gave the strong man a piece of paper and a diploma from a university. The wizard also cited that the land of e pluribus unum, which was Latin for one out of many, converting the many into the New World Order, a novo ordo seclorum. So a Latin phrase placed on the American $1 bill shortly after the bankruptcy. He also proudly revealed and confessed that he was born and bred in the heart of the western wilderness, an old Kansas man myself. He gave the Tin Man a ticket, a clock to sound like a heart, but it was not a heart. And to the lion, he gave a medal to signify the lion's courage, right? And so that's what you got to know too, is that when you get to the Wizard of Oz and you're looking for your sovereignty and you want them to give you your sovereignty back, you had it the whole fucking time. What are they going to give you? A fucking medal? Well, you fucking crazy? These people can't give you something that you've always had. You need to wake the fuck up. These all, of course, were the trinkets in the land of Oz, a fictional world, of course. The bankers did pretty well in Europe, but as the wizard pointed out, they made a killing in the western wilderness, America, with the theft of the American gold, labor, and property, quoting John D. Rockefeller, grateful and responsive rural folk who populated the country at the time. When Dorothy asked Glenda, the good witch of the North, representing honesty, good faith, and Christianity, for her help in getting back to Kansas, Glenda replied, "You don't need to be helped. You've always had the power to go back to Kansas. Just click your heels 3 times. The administrative process, 3 times you're going to fucking serve these people. This is what that is. This is how you get your shit, okay? So you gotta serve these motherfuckers 3 times in the fucking administrative process to default them back into your fucking sovereignty. This is what it is. So just click your heels together 3 times, 3 days, truth in lending. Say what that is. That's fucking UCC. That shit is all commercial law. Truth in lending, 3 days. You have 72 hours. And say there's no place like home. Translation: you've always had the right and power to reclaim your sovereignty. You just focus on you just forgot, and you were never taught that, or the American people have such power. The American Bill of Rights says the people have all the power. Since the people are the true sovereign power, then it is only necessary to wake up from the dumbed down drug-like effect of the powers that be and that they have over you. It's really all in your fucking head, mind you. And the American people ask for the power and position and then exercise it. The actual reclaiming of your sovereignty, the remedy in today's bankrupt commercial world, as the process, including a UCC-1 form from the Secretary of State and the chargeback to the Secretary of the Treasury, wherein you can take commercial control of your strawman with a TIN, a tax identification number. Americans have intimate first-hand knowledge of the heartless mechanics of the laws of commerce religiously applied by the example of the unregistered foreign agents, which they all have to sign for paperwork, and the International Revenue Services, the IRS, accounting firm and collection agency for the private Federal Reserve Bank, was constituted under the UCC and its inception in 1954, and has been operating strictly in that realm ever since, in a commercial realm, which is the fictional realm. And a side note, how was the Wicked Witch destroyed? By accident, a bucket of water, the true substance of all things, good and healthy, simple water, H2O, which is going to be hydrogen, okay? So definitely get your hands on some hydrogen and shit like that. So destroy the evil, and just like the O in ozone destroys virus and bacteria, cancer did the oxygen in the water destroy the evil witch. So you may, and so that's probably making reference to nanotech and shit like that too as well, you know what I mean? When, you know, so if you look at my community section, I already put in there what to take. So it's what I take every day. So you may have wondered what the meaning is behind the words in the title, The Wizard of Oz. Look them up in a dictionary. Like almost everything else, it's right out there in the open for you to see. But you just look closely enough. One definition of the wizard is a very clever or skillful person. Oz, as abbreviation, is onza, the Italian word for ounce. But it also means osmium. You know what I'm saying? So you can fucking decode it however you want. The unit of which osmium, pretty much, I mean, you take that and you're going to become a wizard. It's going to put you really into a magical place, osmium. So the unit of, and so that's also found in Kansas too. So the unit of measurement of gold, silver, and other precious metals, no matter how large a quantity gold or silver is being discussed, the amount is always, let's see what it is. So this is the last slide for this little section. Ounces rather than hundreds of tons of gold. It's so many million ounces of gold as attested by the factual history of this country. The Wizard of Oz was the Wizard of Ounces. And who took the gold? Who took the gold that backed America's currency? Why, the bankers and lawyers working for foreign principals, the private Federal Reserve constituting 20 class of stockholders being mostly private bankers, all orchestrated and greased by politicians then and still today, only because it is not the mindset of politicians today to correct the matter and put full absolute power and over control creation, minting, and putting into circulation the United States money backed by gold, substance, and value. What everyone has to understand is that things today are in this commercial system as in the commercial system as in place is better for everyone, just as long as everyone understands the program. And I absolutely agree. I think that the problem is that nobody understands how to operate in this program, but it was initially set up for everybody's benefit, and it really still is that way, but you have to understand how this shit works to be able to use that shit properly, because everything is already fucking paid for. It doesn't even matter. You just have to know that. So maybe the Wizard of Oz back then was the introduction to the program as to the monetary condition and changes in America. It just appears that no one gave full disclosure to the American people, not only of the change, but how to operate in this new commercial world where all the real value was removed and all that was in place was commercial paper. Everything worked out for Dorothy, the American people in the end. She made it home, meaning that there is remedy in law. It's there, and it was just encoded and disguised and camouflaged. Fortunately, the code has been cracked, and there is a way home, just like in the movie, like Dorothy said, there is no place like home, and there isn't. And I absolutely agree, there is no fucking place like home. There is no place like home. And so that there's nothing like sovereignty for sovereign people. We have commercial remedy in the redemption process. You will continue to be conned by the confidence men and believe the wizard's wording game out of the box and all of the smoke and mirrors called the TV, or you will rise up like Dorothy did, look behind the scenes to recognize the scheme. You will rise above the occasion and obtain the knowledge to become a secure party creditor, a private banker, and sovereign to take your government back instead of being that debtor slave on the plantation, living your life in debt and servitude. It's your choice. Dorothy did it a long time ago to show the American people and maybe the children the way and how to do it and the way that it can be done. Now go rent, buy some movies, see it again for the first time with your eyes wide open. For all the intents and purposes, there are only debtors and creditors in America, no law, and that's a fact. Only the law of contracts and agreements and commercial paper. Follow the yellow brick road, follow the yellow brick road, follow the money trail. And that's what I'm telling you. So get your fucking estoppels in place. Hit me up, get those ASAP. It's a awesome preventative measure. It's going to get you in right where you need to be until you get your UCC1 done. But that's really the only way. So, it is a game of chess. You know what I'm saying? But they taught us all how to play checkers, and they've been fucking everybody since day one. So, everything is coded. All right? Not even just first of all, everything's veiled in numbers. But aside from that, everything is a riddle. Everything is a code for you to crack the code, to break it. This has all been a game. It's been a fucking initiation. A lot of people are not gonna make this shit. A lot of people are not gonna make it. That's the sad truth of it. So, may the best man win. And it is a game of chess. Stop playing checkers with these assholes. And that's what I got for you for now. Until we meet again.